most of illegal immigrants taking the job opportunities of South Africans, and that is it's true. My guy, as I explained, Ekurhuleni is the industrial hub of Gauteng. You know, I will tell you something that will shock you, that out of 100% of all the factories that are in Ekurhuleni, 30% is South Africans. 70%, if not more, are illegal foreigners. Because of most of the factories, they have people who are not documented. Furious. But it is that thing, because of we black South Africans, we are not united. We cry for all of foreign nationals. Garden men but we always cry for because of the end. We have this tendency of, if it's not me, it does not affect me, it's not my problem. But forgetting or is going to affect your kids.
Let me repeat, you are not going to win. And the reason you are going to win 86. So ANC, to keep the mayor, they must sweeten
the EFF.
The EFF. Yeah. And the EFF would say, protect our speaker.
Yeah, it's possible.
So with their majority, especially coming from minorities, this thing just looks like a damn squib. Is it gonna happen? Or you think other people might bite each other? They'll betray each other. The political incorrect have been dying for the longest of time to get the ATM into studio. When in fact I first came across them, it was on election campaigns, the by-elections and stuff. Say, guys, you've got presence here. They say, yes, they do have presence. But just about everyone I try to get to the podcast, they would rather run away. But I'm glad John will tell us lots of stories of what we want to hear about the ATM. We know ATM ka Vuyo Zimuda. I want you to first explain who are you, where you from, and maybe give us your politics. What drives your kind of politics, the political affiliations you went into, and then you will unpack ATM as we go forward.
First of all, let me just thank the opportunity, and then also maybe to put it out there that I'm not the national spokesperson for ATM, neither speaking on behalf of the province or national, but I will speak on behalf of the regional, as I'm a regional chairperson. My name is John Senona. I was born and bred to Mamelodi. And Mamelodi, and in Bukazi there is a lot of crime, there is a lot of things that were happening, and it happens that I became one of the drug addicts, at some point, and I needed to change my life, and a lady who gave me hope, he changed my life via Bible, and obvious with the care of Yabatwadi and how my father was so very strict, And after I matriculated, I went to colleges, and where you now find, your SASCO, school politics, And from there, I was very much interested, even though I was not affiliating to any student organizations, and I started to love PASMA, and I became a member of PASMA. And I wouldn't even say that, it was that thing of, you have a friend of you, it's a PASMA member, and say, John, no, we are recruiting. We cannot be recruiting with you, and where else you are not part.
Yes.
I'm from Kasanela for PASMA. Then it's when now the EFF came, where I became a member of the student command, and not the member of the mother body, but of the student organization. And from there, the 2015, 2016 happened, the feast must fall, and from there I take break, in politics and stuff, and I started to be a scholar of Leo Muhammad, one of the guys of the Nation of Islam, where I've learned so much about things, and I had an opportunity also to travel Africa, to learn about our cultures, our value, to learn about the Bible, and then also the whole, Afrocentric, and after a long break in politics, I found a speech by the founder of ATM, Professor Caesar Nomuka, in Facebook, talking about the ATM government and how the ATM government, it will be the government for the people, by the people. And that speech is the one that made me to join ATM. And yeah, ATM was not like any other organizations. It was one of the most, difficult organizations, because you go there, they are the self-funding party. So they're funding themselves, and from there I joined ATM, and I fall in love with ATM because of the kind of politics that they are preaching. It's none like any other. Their constitution, it was very different from other constitutions. So, and I was just a normal volunteer in ATM, and I think in 2020. They've appointed me to become a regional chairperson of ATM, and then since then I've been working for ATM.
That's brilliant. You're quite correct. ATM is like it's very difficult to because you would, and their culture, it's new, it's church orientated.
Yes.
It's one of this fundamentalism.
Yeah. It's
not a popular political party where you go for popularism and stuff, and this is what attracts a lot of people. And I have to tell you, the type of leader that you guys have. Your ceremonial leader is a very laid back leader, and then your political leader as well. Vuyelethu Zungula is calm and is in his approach, firm, calm, and effective. It's. I remember, by the way, Udlamini, he was given an example of two effective leaders. You say Julius Malema is effective, he punches and stuff, but you bring Vuyelethu Zungula. It's two different people, and people are more attracted to him because he's not aggressive, but he soldiers on. And a lot of people would say, and of course including myself, he's one of the guys that I wish to interview one day. I do talk to him. I just hope one day maybe he gives me a chance to interview him. The reason is he's very knowledgeable and he's calm. And what you say attracted to you to is the speech. What was contained in the speech about ATM, the way ATM how projects itself, that you thought these items are what draws me to ATM?
I think the most important one on their main core values of the party, it was the 7 leadership. So in ATM, we don't call each other as commanders or comrades. We call ourselves as 7s. We call each other 7s,
Sure.
And then, as a 7, you take the mandate to the people, from the people, and you take it up there. You don't do your own thing. So everything that we do in ATM, it is something that comes from the ground. And that is why for us it's so very easy. That is why you would have a leader like Seven Zungula. He's a servant of the people. He can be the president of the movement, but he's so much very humble. And that is the culture of the leadership that we do have, in ATM. Look, I believe so, because of many councillors will say, I'm one of the humblest councillors, in Ekurhuleni, even though I'm also a chairperson of ethics and integrity,
and the youngest.
I'm the youngest councillor also, holding councillors accountable. They respect me not because of they are scared of me. No, they respect me because of the respect that I give them. Whatever we do something. Zungula once said to us that as a leader, you don't have to be the leader that imposes yourself to the people, You have to lead the people, and you lead from the front. I'm a kind of, in ATM, where there's those kind of leaders that, my guy, if there is an event, I'm the last person to eat. If there is an event, I'm the last person to leave, to make sure that the chairs and everything, to such an extent, you wouldn't even think that I'm a regional chairperson because of I would not even sit at the front, making sure that everyone is fine. That's how we lead. We serve the people.
Comrades from ATM, ANC, EFF, the country. The reason I'm laughing is, remember when Floyd was criticized for moving chairs and stuff, they say now he's doing catering, and then a sound clip of Mbuyiseni Ntosi came as well to say, when you are a leadership, you are the first to arrive, you move things. So you just said exactly what he said. But let me tell you, I have seen Mbuyiseni Ntosi live at an event. The event started, he came very late, and then he did his thing. While the people were still there, he chopped off and he left. Of course, what he says and what happens, it can't be the same.
No, true.
You understand?
True.
And now maybe he knows when he says a leader, what kind of leader, because not all leaders can do that. But anyway, this is me just comparing. In terms of comparison, let me go back. One thing that stands out for ATM, for me, is their unapologetic stance when it comes to foreign nationals in South Africa who are not documented, illegal foreigners. Tell me what drove this kind of a pillar or this kind of a concerted effort to say we are going to protect the interests of South Africa, and I've done podcast about ATM based on that.
Yeah. If maybe you can check our core values, you would have P, the first letters, you will have P, which is peace, and you will have U, which is Ubuntu, you will have T, which is a transformation, you will have S, which is it's a 7 leadership, and you will have A, which is an accountability. When you put them together, they put SA. So we're the first one who came with this way to put South African first, and we do believe that we put our South African citizens first, because of you cannot cater someone from outside before you cater someone from inside. And our stance is very clear. You check the unemployment rate in South Africa. It's been driven by this problem that we have. And as we say that we are the servant of the people, and we kind of like taking up the interest of the people up to the parliament. That is why Vuyo Zungulo was the first parliamentary member to even talk about putting South African first. To such an extent, he was talking about the township economy, how the township economy is very important for us and how it can benefit the people of South Africa. So putting people interest first, it is what we do as ATM. And right now there is outcry because of, first of all, our borders are not secured. Second of all, we have many illegal immigrants that are doing crime, without us even identifying them, We have most of illegal immigrants taking the job opportunities of South Africans, and that is it's true. My guy, as I explained, Ekurhuleni is the industrial hub of Gauteng. I will tell you something that will shock you, that out of 100% of all the factories that are in Ekurhuleni, 30% is South Africans, 70%, if not more, are illegal foreigners, because of most of the factories they have people who are not documented. There is this movement, they call themselves Unemployment Movement for Change. Their president gave me the stat to say, look, this one company in Wattville, that company has employed 460 people there. 106 is South Africans. Over 300 of those employees are foreigners. They don't have papers. They don't have nothing. Some, he was even claiming as a minister to even pay them, it's a job and a half, because of they have to put money in envelopes and give them. So now we are having a system that is using the what we call a modern slavery, enslave our African brothers. Look, we don't have a problem with our African brothers, but we say that even you are my neighbor, but at first I have to take care of my own kids, of my own family before I can cater you. And then that is why you would have the NGOs that will fight for this, because of, remember, most of the companies are owned by white people. It's not It's not like most of companies, they're owned by white people. White people, they want to pay a cheap labor so that they can get much more profit. And they know hiring a South African, you will need to register them, you will need to pay tax, you will need to do this, you will need, there is too much administration. But hiring a legal immigrant, it's very easy. There is even no way that they can even complain to say that we are working, 60 hours per week and you're paying us less. There is no way that they can go. They will accept whatever they can get. So putting South African interests first, we know that the current burning issue now, it is the issue of the legal immigrant. I was once have this one-on-one with this other top politician. And I said to him that, what's funny enough, you have bodyguards. You have bodyguards, you're staying in a very secured estate. You have friends who own construction companies, and also I know, you have, people who, you have your own things somewhere, That is why you wouldn't see that the issue of legal immigrants is an issue for you, because of you benefiting from it. People who are not benefiting from it, they are feeling it. My guy, right now we just learned last week that a guy who had so many qualifications has committed suicide. I'm going to another funeral this weekend, when a guy is an accountant, he even passed the board exam, but he cannot find an employment. Not mere petrol attendants and whatnot. What's so special about petrol attendants? What's so special about Batuaber Gangudi retailing? What's a rare skill do they bring, in working in those, companies? For example, you go to the hotel, you find foreigners, everywhere. You go to the restaurant, it's foreigners. You go to construction companies, many construction companies, many developers, it's foreigners. And most of them, they don't have papers. I thought, or maybe they lost the country, and a company must hire at least 15%, of people who have. So, scarce kill is mo selling petrol, sekokai mo go rekisa diaparo, go ba dijo, sekokai mo go bereka go retailing, So, it's a difficult issue, my guy. I was also hijacked by foreign nationals. We couldn't find them because of the untraceable. You can't find them, and they wouldn't even think, they would just do whatever they want to do to get what they want, So even the crime, in South Africa, it's up because of them, and I can tell you, one man once said that at the end of the day, bana barena. But we shake maforena because of maforena ke manchi a tswalla number rena when ba le modima rena mmusho nyana wa rena ba tlo tsholla. So we have to guard the interest of the South Africans now. That is why we cannot back down. We can't back down.
Marry me, Soshanguve. As we speak, only one is arrested, and they say he's not documented. So in other words, if he tells them, my name is Samson Delilah, there's no way for them to prove that he is. If he says the people I was running with, one is called Tabo, one is called, there's no way they can prove those people, because if it's not documented, if he leaves Soshanguve, he goes to Mamelodi, he changes the name, he's no longer being called, because he can find a new job, he can, at their employment agencies, if you go to these people, they don't even have their fingerprints. They still, Getting McKenzie says, white people will then hire them and put them in their farms and then come and cry that South Africa is dangerous. They run to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
While it's them, they will take people who are potential dangers, they put them next to themselves. So I just want to understand, I know it's not an official stance, but what is it that you guys do with communities like Marry Me? I know it's huge. When I was in Tembisa, a brother of mine told me, Watsaba Mashian, these people, it's about 35% Mozambican. These people outnumber us. I tell you, he gives me a bet, say, I bet you are never going to hear xenophobia in Tembisa, because we are outnumbered.
Yeah.
And those people are are more than us. People have left their houses, and they are taking rent, and people are living somewhere because it's not right. So I just want to ask, do you think you are fighting a battle that is worth fighting, but even if you know that you are not going to win?
I think,
because I don't see how you can win this.
The only way we can win is when the South Africans, they can trust us with their votes and vote us in power. I think we have demonstrated that. We are not the part of the GNU, not because of we're not offered, but somehow we offered. But we refuse because of we don't want to sell our people. And the power is with the people, and that is what the people don't understand. Kwame Nkrumah once said that organization determines everything. When we are organized, we can achieve and we can do anything. You know, I was in one prof in UNISA today say something like, you know, the progressive caucus, if we can put it like that, they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing in parliament because of they are fighting each other.
True.
But if they were united, they were going to fight a very good cause. And then it is Vuyo Zungule who always talks about unity. Because of as ATM, we understand the power of unity, you know. And I can tell you that the power lies with the voters of the country. And then the people of South Africa must wake up. You know, we are fighting a battle that we know we can win. That is why we're coming with these bills, you know, that can help us to fight this thing, you know. And then we know that it's up to us. I can tell you, I'm staying closer to Makausi, you know. Makausi, Rasta, and Marathon in Germiston. It has 7 shafts of mine. So there the Zamazamas are thriving, are doing as they please. You cannot go to Makausi at 6. They are gunshot, the people chasing each other. I'm being honest with you. They know. I even wrote the letter to the mayor, Alderman Kakaza, saying that you must leave your bodyguards and come with your executive. At least travel, go through if you would want to remain in that place for 15 minutes. But how about our own South African brothers and sisters and their kids who are witnessing all these things happening there? You know, to such an extent, there is a gentleman there from Mozambique. He's sleeping with young girls, you know, promising them to buy them the sanitary pads. What is that? That thing is very inhumane. You know, I was very furious. But it is that thing, because of we black South Africans, we are not united. We cry for all of foreign nationals. But we always cry for all because of the end. We have this tendency of, if it's not me, it does not affect me, it's not my problem. But forgetting or is going to affect your kids.
Let me repeat, you are not going to win. And the reason you're going to win is, you know, when they say this market is fixed, when they say all the problems of South Africa are actually designed, they're not here by chance. They negotiated everything. And it's said, you know, but I understand political parties, Mabaha Gauteng, it's this hustle. He's not going to say, I'm not going to win this because it's fixed. The reason is as simple as you and I know. The viewers, they know that the Progressive Caucus is just there on paper. Comrades, they don't agree with each other. I would suspect that EFF doesn't like you guys now that you are cozy with MK. And for EFF to stand up and say, Zuma is the biggest enemy number 1 of MK, of EFF, automatically it deletes all the efforts of the Progressive Alliance. Say, I know, outside Arakwani, but in so they just wait. So for instance, the EFF cannot unilaterally say, I'm leaving the Progressive Caucus, because when they leave, it shows as if, you are chickening out of a grand plan. You understand? But on paper, let's put it there. The problem that South African political parties have, and I said it many times after Kodesa, to say, this thing is so designed. Once you get into politics, mainstream politics, and start fighting it, you actually realize that it's not going to win. You spoke about UNISA. I keep repeating this point in this podcast that when I was with Sipho Siepe, I asked him, I put him on a mic and said, these black political parties, the three spear organizations, they've got 66%. Only 3. So meaning the black vote has not dwindled. 66%. Also faki UAT, ATM, no. 3 political parties, but not 66%. Whoever funds them tells them not to unite. It's the truth. They do not want. They would rather hate me for saying it, but it's the truth. They will speak. They will preach black unity, black what. Look, man, it's simple. I mean, this is one of the most simplest things. Let me give you an example. You are Ekurhuleni. You take a municipality, because the ANC has taken municipality unilaterally and wherever they are. And for example, in Durban, the ANC decided to vote against a motion that bans spaza shops. So they cannot claim they don't have to see these things. And I keep saying MK in 2016 is going to take municipalities by itself. We are going to see their bylaws now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can take a municipality by your own because of your numbers.
Yeah.
You can wish, but you are not going to now. Do all the motions, all the plans, all the policies to go and dismantle this thing. You won't, because anyone who gives you money, John, anyone who gives you money, any politician knows that I accepted money from these people. They are going to dictate the tune.
Yeah.
That's what Sipho Siepe said.
Yeah.
Professor Sipho Siepe says, these people, the people who are funding them, these people who are funding these people, are the ones who are dictating. Because it doesn't make sense. Because I asked them, these 3 political parties, all of them, they are telling them that this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
They tell us, then we vote for them. Once they get there, they don't do what we told them.
No, it's true.
Because they want to use the excuse of, we wanted to do it, but it's that other one. What is the reason for black parties to fight?
Maybe before I can answer you, I just want to put it out there that ATM is a self-funding party. We are funding ourselves. Everything comes out of our pocket. I can tell you, Kingman, the 2024 election, we were running it with 20,000 budget. Less than 20,000 budget. And I'm just saying less than 20,000 budget because of it's not recorded anywhere in the paper. Because of it was people donating and helping each other to buy this, to buy that. We didn't have all the luxury things that other political parties have. And to come to you, to what you're saying, I'm in council in Ekurhuleni. And because I don't want to go too much into the national,
True.
Yeah, I will just stick to Ekurhuleni. But it's a very good example of what you are saying. We are in Ekurhuleni, and in Ekurhuleni you have a black majority parties, where ANC and EFF together, they have a majority. But they are fighting. They are always fighting because of their interests are not the same. It's all about who gets what where. Who lead what where? It's all about the interest of their political parties and what they want to achieve. And it's very difficult because as councillors we're talking about the governance. The motion are being passed, but the motion are not being followed. The motion will just pass to say that we will start now to go and evict illegal immigrants, and now Rio Gudi hijacking buildings, on paper is there, but you're not going to see it. Another example, Action SA came with a motion of insourcing Ekurhuleni. The motion was passed, but there was a 2 billion tender on security and cleaning companies that was awarded, and it passed through the council processes. And now we want to talk as if like people are there for the interest of the people. No, it is not always the case. And we are always going to fight and not see eye to eye because we are not organized. That is why President Zungul is talking about organizations, for us to organize, and is speaking of unity. We don't hate EFF, we don't hate ANC, we don't hate anyone, but we just want all progressive parties to unite, for the beneficial of the black people. Speaking, you were saying something about Trump. Trump is looking after the interests of the white people, and I don't know why now black people must be angry about that. No, they're looking for their own interest. Now we are supposed to look for the interest of the black people.
It's not going to happen,
and it's not going to happen because of whoever who gives us money. Channel the tune, and it's true. So right now we are the self-funding party, and that is why because of why
do you know there's a upcoming school called Paseta?
Is it the Chinese school?
No.
Okay.
Let me explain.
All right.
So Paseta is a pan-Africanist school,
okay,
for economics, technology and agriculture. It's a school initiative that was funded by people, by few South Africans, as few as they are. I'm among them who assist to chip in to make this thing happen.
Okay.
This is more like what Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about. He says, Dr. Umar Johnson, money in the hands of black billionaires. You see them on TV, your Michael Jackson, your Michael Jordans. You see those people. It's not their money. Once they start using that money to empower black people, then they're going to get problems like Bill Cosby, Prince, Michael Jackson. Once you start using your money to empower other black people, then we start seeing problems. You are starting to, because the money that you have, you are not supposed to, like your Kanye West, your Jay-Z, those people, they will never go and build a school and say, we are putting it in a trust, it must run itself. No. You see what Oprah Winfrey has done in South Africa? Just ask yourself, the money that Jay-Z has, he can build a school. He can build a school in every country in Africa. He can build it and say, government, here it is. Help this organization to run it.
Yeah.
Support this organization to run it. And the school runs itself. And I'm not saying it will be successful because maybe the school will run itself down. But I'm saying he's not going to do it because it's not, because it is us. The problem is us, African people.
Yes.
I'm stating this deliberately because I want to show you an example of what MK says when they say in Grimnyama, black unity. It will never happen because he could have went to you and said, Ish, ATM, I'm bringing my influence. Let people vote ATM. But he went to open a new one and said people must come to this one. Because when that happens, we are going to debate the fact, maybe he knew MK would have more numbers. Why didn't those people with more numbers come to you or come to EFF? I'm just giving an example, the problems that we as African people do. So that Pan-African is cool. People in their own personal capacities, they can go and donate to that school and it passes. But we are not going to. Do you know what we are going to do? We are going to wake up every day. Orania, AfriForum. Orania, AfriForum. They don't want to take our kids. There's a school that we can build for ourselves. You understand? As African people. So we can do it ourselves. Yeah. But we are not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because we just want someone to do it and then criticize. Why won't? So there's a reason you don't know about it. Kagiso Hlongwane loves Vuyo Zungul. I would urge him to say, please go and invite the man to be a keynote speaker.
Yeah.
If he needs to be.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's afraid because he doesn't want people who bring their political caps. He says the problem with politics is divisive. So, for example, people who are EFF may not like the idea that Vuelethu is there. You understand? But I say maybe invite them or maybe bring them on board in their personal capacity to say, this is what I'm donating. Because it's a gesture that we need as African people to see that even, our certain event, there was a contingent of EFF and a small number of ANC at the candlelight ceremony, but it was organized by MK. And I liked it because it is South African people, but yes, but it's an example of that. Because someone will see you and say, green Gwaza. You understand? But you already told Gwaza, Gwaza, and we are together. One first time. What are the hopes of us as African people to unite? To see, okay, no, here and here we differ. But this is why we see in the similar eye. Let's unite here and let's make it strong. How are we going to divide that? How are we going to break that difficulty?
I think King Man, if we can go back, and look those first African leaders, who gained their independence. We talk about Haile Selassie, we talk about the Kwame Nkrumah, the people who formed the African Union. They formed African Union based on that. But you can check what the white powerful houses did to them, Haile Selassie was arrested, Kwame Nkrumah was arrested, later was died, Patrice Lumumba, and the list goes on, right? And the issue, it is there of whoever who feeds you controls you. The hand that feeds you controls you.
True.
And now, as African leaders and as South African political parties, we have allowed a situation whereby we are being funded. Funded by people who have their own interest. And this funding thing, it goes a long way, King Man. You go abutaga go di Twitter. Nale batho ba bitsang di influencers. Nale batho ba go di TikTok di influencers. Those people, they push a wrong narrative. They make us to fight one another. I was telling this other cousin of mine, busy o lebella di show mu TV. And then after or men are trash. Men are trash because of every show that you can check now on TV. It is always against the black man. You render black men useless, you are killing the nation. Because of a woman cannot govern themselves. They cannot govern themselves. The feminists, they can say whatever they say, but they can never govern themselves. Once you kill the government, you've killed everything. And the reason why we would never unite, it is because of that one. And I can tell you, each and every strike is also one number. It's a conflict of interest. Someone is paying, someone is funding. Each and every leader why it's defenders and it becomes very difficult. Right we talk about unity as ATM. We talk about because of our Qatar. Someone once said to yeah, you are a 2-member party in parliament. But check urira.
So you agree with me when I say you can't grow those numbers because political parties thrive on funds for them to grow. You can't attract great minds because now we have political career rates. What it means is I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
If someone calls me to come and be a podcaster by them, I would ask them, how much are you paying?
Yeah.
If you want to attract Bonkosi Kanyile, you call him, he comes to ATM. He needs to travel the country promoting ATM. You're going to have to give him a salary, or you're going to have to give him a funder to do all of those things. If you can't afford him, he will go to another political party. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying inherently, the politics, you attract good players, then because you have attracted good political parties, good political players, then they give you better politics. With this good politics, it attracts people. There are people who are just crowd pullers, like your Malema, your Bonkos, Kanyiles and stuff. But you need to pay them. So meaning that the more you do not have money to pay these people who come to you. Do you know what is alleged to be Floyd Shivambu's salary? They say around 150,000. I'm not sure if it's true, but these are MK people who are telling us. They say they're not happy with it. You understand? So I want you to understand, he's a big fish. So they're saying this money, it doesn't worth what he does. So that's...
Maybe let me just say something to say that ATM is being founded by the Messianic Church of Councils, right? Meaning that our foundation is churches, right? And we also clear, about the kings to say right? And indigenous kings are the ones that actually give us support. The churches are the ones that actually give us the support, and then the people out there, they do give us the support. Hence, I'm saying to you that yes, the issue that we do have now, funding, if that particular party is being funded right, but what's in here? And one thing I can tell you, we will gain more numbers. Actually, even 2029, we did exceptionally well. We did everything, but we know what happened with the IC. Hence, we are at the courts at the current moment, because we did exceptionally well. And I'm not talking about small churches that are supporting us. We're talking about big churches, that's supporting us. We're talking about big kingdoms, the kings that are supporting us. We talk about many intellectuals. Vuyo Zungulo was never a member of another party or whatnot. No. He was someone, and Vuyo Zungulo was able to excel. Because of one thing we need to understand, we need to change our mindset of politics. We have to serve the interest of the people. And that is how most of us we are. ATM is the biggest political party for me that I've joined. I've always joined the student organization. It was the first political party to even know, so, when in politics you have regional structures, in those type of things. And look the kind of the leadership they are able to produce, because of our mandate is one. We serve the people on the ground, and people are supporting us. People, they love Vuyo Zungula, People, they love the work that other councillors are doing, People love us, and it's unfortunate part where we haven't established ourselves that very well, And that thing, it has to go to the regions and whatnot, because we don't have so much footprint. But we do have people who really support us. And believe me, I can tell you that South Africans are tired. Right now, one thing I love about South Africans, you can campaign as much as you campaign. You can campaign.
Stadium. FNB Moses Mabida, Cape Town Stadium, Polokwane.
Mara batho ba sa ba bontsora arunyaki. Wantalwa renyakaba. So the way we are going as ATM, I do have a belief that even in the region we are cruising very nice. We know and one thing I can tell you, I don't know you have heard about that executive system, that the executive system bill that will change the local government, that will deal more of a coalition, it will want to govern the coalition, There is a clause there when I was reading it, you have to at least have 1% of the voters for you to be recognized or for you to get, a seat. Meaning you are safe when you have at least 8,000 votes, to 10,000 votes. Meaning that
in the entire Ekurhuleni municipality?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you must have 1%.
So in other words, that ward councillor who just wins a ward by 500, by 23, margin at 23 votes, he becomes a ward councillor. Then he goes to council. He will not be accommodated there.
No. A ward council is different to a PR seat.
Okay.
You know, Angara, you would have ward councillors and
Yes.
you will have PR councillors.
Yes.
PR councillors is from the percentage of
Yes.
the whole region, you know,
Yes.
and there is a certain percentage,
Sure.
you know. So to have that 1%, you know, if you have 10 million, you know, voters, you know, you must have at least 10,000.
Yeah.
Meaning, Rena, 2,000 votes, 3,000 votes, they won't be accommodated, you know, into this new system. So it is the system that is created to kill small parties, because of
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, small parties will never participate, you know. So you need to work hard, and I can tell you, as ATM, we are very determined because of our.
So is that thing now going to come in effect? NOCA 20?
Yes, you will see, it will come in effect, and they are pushing it, my brother. They are pushing. Someone once said, I remember one guy, it's a very good friend of mine from DA, Armonare. Councillor Senona, you guys, you must work hard, ne? As month like 15 of you, Lenabalilungo Minority Party caucus, because of this thing is going to pass. And I can tell you, we will be talking about it one day and unpack it, you know, and so that I can tell you what's going to happen, you know. If
so
that
wait,
should
is it only in Ekurhuleni or Salga Ifaicha all over?
All over. It's a bill to introduce to national parliament. It's going to be all over the country, all over. So I buy with the executive system.
Must you benefit a big parties only?
Exactly. It will benefit a big parties.
And then independent candidates?
I don't know what
Because there's no way an independent candidate.
But remember, independent what? It's not basically what, it's fine. What the local, whoever creating the votes they didn't choke what level, what win. But the renable PR seats.
No, this political system is getting more and more complicated. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason Musima Mani organized Bosa, because he doesn't love Bosa. It was his only vehicle to go back to parliament. You look at how he wanted to be an independent candidate, no political party, no anything. You see, he wanted that, but the way by Rukileng this by Rukile. No one can emerge. Only the big organizations can emerge and control government.
True. No, it's true. And then with the executive system, it's going to be worse.
So tell me, what impact, what are the things, because we need to close, what are the things that make sure, or not, let me not say make sure, that impede progress in service delivery in municipalities? You can give me Ekurhuleni, for example. What are these fundamental things?
We are not paying the service providers on time. And without paying service providers in time, they cannot do the job.
Hold it there. I render a service, there's a term called GRV. You GRV meaning you accept that you said machine must deliver water. I bring water, someone signs acceptance of this water, and then because the water has been given, someone on the system it proved that Tabo signed for machine did deliver water. 1 April. So the system is done and it's data captured. What makes the delay? Because I know but I just want to the fundamental delays.
You know, one thing that we've just find out that it's happening. It is that issue where you render services, right? To render services, you invoice, right? But the invoice by capture. Maybe there is some issue with your invoice over my date, over my something. You know, they don't tell you how there is an issue. It gets rejected by Pilocola.
Yeah, but you hold it there. Yeah. Because the reason I want us to do step by step, finger by finger, is deliberately that.
Yeah.
So when you get buyers or data capturers, do you not give them KPIs and KPAs to say, here you are, you received 10 invoices. This is the end of the week. Account, give us a report. How many did you split and what is the problem? Because there won't be any invoice without the identity of that. You would know, even if it's not in the invoice, there must be a phone number to tell an email to say, your invoice can't be done because it's short a comma and full stop. Why emailer, you put it aside. So that way, it's not gaining dust. Yeah. So I'm doing this painstaking finger to finger following process for you to understand what is frustrating South Africa. What are those people who are data capturing? Why are they not being pursued?
You know, it's one of the things that we as Ekurhuleni we wanted to fix. And especially with this administration now in it, and you know this government to say that those things are the questions that the executive will ask, you know, the support staff or the officials to say, but why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is not happening, you know, and then obviously they have excuses, but also you can't pay the service providers if you don't have money. Remember, municipality will only generate the money from rates and taxes. And if people are not paying rates and taxes, it becomes also a problem, you know, to pay the service providers. But the third one, we know. I mean, are we honest? We know how the system works. Baba Mata, one of the service providers once said to me, you know what, why Basam Patel is because of Gano Patela Jojo. You know, Abam Patela because of, you know, you can even go to the internet and to the news, you will see that other service providers, they even went to court because of Banyaga di Chelete Tabon.
That part we understand.
Yeah.
I'm saying the system. Why isn't the system hand finger to finger? You follow it. You submitted to accounts payable on which date? On this date. You go to account payable. Where did you email the invoice? Yes. You received like IT says you received like John. You received this on this date. Did you action it? No. 3 months written warning with the possibility of another one within 3 months. Because without doing that, you are never going to fix anything.
It's true. I agree.
Why are administrators not doing that? It means they are part of the corruption.
I don't, you know, it's very difficult because I can't prove it. But what you're saying, it's what service providers are saying. Who's
that MMC from EFF who was complaining about the system in Ekurhuleni that he had to buy his own gloves? I forgot the EFF MMC at Ekurhuleni.
Yeah, because we have 4 currently. Okay, I think the chubby guy. I think it's Wolo, because of the only chubby guy MMC. It's Councillor Wolo, and then because obviously if it was Ngulule
Dunga would have.
Yeah,
remember it's not Dunga.
Yeah,
it's the other one man with spectacles.
Okay, Kwaku Jobek. Yeah, Kwaku Jobek. Yeah, I remember Kwaku Jobek.
Okay, but the one who was crying on Power FM. Naluko Ekurhuleni.
If maybe Kiolo, because of Kena Fela Aling Chavi.
Yeah. Maybe he was. Yeah. I mean, it was so frustrating. He was telling us the processes, and how they will deliberately stall you, because this one takes a lot of time. Because the politicians can master what administrators do, because administrators know these processes better. But anyway, just tell us in closing, man, or. How are you going? Do you want to change in closing, and also just explain the issues that you think I've not asked you and you wanted to elaborate on?
Yeah, no. Maybe 2 things. One, it should be the issue of unity. As South Africans, we need to unite. You know, but reunite because of South Africa. You know, and the most important thing that we really need to understand is that, of course, there are systems, and of course the ward councillors, and then they need the support of the community, you know, and also the community to understand and work, you know, you know. And the most important thing I just want to say before in closing is that, you know, we understand the problems and the social issues that South African banal is on. But we want to urge South Africans to vote and vote for change. And let us not vote using the feelings. This particular party, we need to vote. And you need to check a leader that can, you know, it can advance. You know, I love what you said about saying, like, as I explained, that ATM are natural. You know, we could have been in a situation whereby we could have took the ministerial position, you know, because so that we can have more funds, so that we can run our things. But we didn't do that because we understand the mandate of the people. You know, if Vuyo Zungula was the president of the country. We know we're going to change other things, and it's possible. Trump was able to change those things within 2 weeks into the administration. Why not us if we are in the majority, you know? So we must unite, we must be organized, and we must work to one another, you know? I can't ground. All of us, we're all fighting for ground too. But let it not be fighting for ground and make other people to suffer, you know. Let it not be fighting for the ground and sabotage others, you know. Because if you are not sabotaging Reina, you know, you are sabotaging Banabahau, you know. And we have to take a very stand in this illegal foreign issue. You know, we really need to stop supporting them. You know, we're Lagama Pakistan, so those things, if we don't support them, they will leave. You know, they are here because we are supporting them.
Well, I've debated convenience. Motion of no confidence in the mayor of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality. Is it something far-fetched? Is it possible? We've seen a monk in Tshwane. Are those things happening in Ekurhuleni?
Yeah, there is currently a motion of no confidence against the Speaker of Council and against the Mayor, Dr. Nkosiphile Xakaza. And to be very honest, you will never know with motions. You can think that you do, and you must understand ANC.
Give our viewers a picture, paint it for us. The speaker from what party, the mayor from what party, and which parties are in on removing. What is the interest?
All right. Yeah. Let me start with the speaker. The speaker is from EFF.
Okay.
You know, and we know EFF has only 36 seats. You know,
EFF Baba File
speaker position, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the name of the speaker, Kama?
Ntabiseng Chivenga.
Ntabiseng Chivenga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that motion came after the ethics committee find Ntabiseng the processes and then for that we find the guilt, you know. And then other how nakamukaranang cancel kating, you know, the DA felt or arane cancel pila or biased, you know, babang baba fast space, babang baba fiselo. So you cannot have a speaker say or biased and you know. And then again there was the allegations, you know, that a junior staff, you know, office in high, there was a corruption, but that has nothing to do with the speaker, you know, to be quite honest. You know, I mean it was a junior staff senior speaker, you know, and just because of those things, you know, they formulated.
But was that an allegation or it was proven of the junior staff?
No, it was proven.
Okay, so
it was proven because of
on record, she was found guilty of.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, in a capacity as the speaker, you said she was found guilty. Ethics committee found her guilty on.
Okay, it was on a different.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, it was. They found guilty, but found the speaker guilty because of how he conducted the meeting where the EFF were physically beating up the DA councillors, and the speaker did nothing, you know. To such an extent, the speaker did not even call the surge of arms, you know, to come and Baba separate. Yes,
and
it was based
on that.
Was
found guilty on that.
Yes, to say that. Yes.
Then, so does that mean automatic, or you need to remove her by council resolution?
Yeah, no, it's not like an automatic thing because of we all do mistakes and but you know, if I want to remove you, I have to dig all these things, you know, and then so that into case
I think when the speaker understands.
Yeah, yes. So Nkosiphile Xakaza Mayor is that, remember, and this is what most of the councillors are saying, the parties are saying, when he came in, he came uncontested. And it was deliberately because of there were agreements and arrangements that were made to say that all political parties will be catered for, right?
His political party is?
It's ANC. He's from ANC. So there was that agreement that all political parties will cater for, you know. The multi-party will guard the legislature, you know, and then the others, they will go to the executive, you know. We hold each other accountable and you know.
When did he come into office?
I think it was last year, if I'm not lying. It was last year around March. Yeah, it was last year around March.
Okay.
Yeah. And then since, the man did not do anything. Instead, you know, he will go and post, you know. And then also the crisis that we have, the deteriorating of the infrastructure, the service delivery.
Who raised the motion?
Sorry?
Who raised the motion of no
confidence? It was the ICM and then also seconded by ACDP.
Minorities.
Yeah, it was the minorities again, striking again, and it's to know or motion utla pass or you can think or pass.
When is it sitting? When is it cancelled sitting?
Now, Kadi, I think it's last Thursday of April.
Okay.
Remember, the motion was supposed to serve now, like last week Thursday,
yes.
but they couldn't because of there was a state of basic address, which councillor said that how can you put a speech whereas you are not going to be there, if you are being removed, because we don't know whether what has happened for motion or young, and now April, it's going to be very interesting, and then I can give you a special invite, to come and witness because no one knows who's going to do what. Yeah.
You guys move each other there.
But now there is peace. There is a sheriff in town. I'm the new sheriff, in town, who's making sure that there is order, and there is order.
Okay, and then give us permutations. Who's got the sway of power? You say 36 seats of EFF, and which number? How many does ANC have?
86.
86. So ANC to keep the mayor, they must sweeten
the EFF.
The EFF, and the EFF would say protect our speaker.
Yeah, it's possible.
So, with their majority, especially coming from minorities, this thing just looks like a damn squib. Is it gonna happen, or you think other people might bite each other? They'll betray each other.
In politics, nothing is certain. 24 hours more politicking, it's a long time. Just like that,
internal splits inside the political
party. It could be internal splits, it could be the arrangement to say, no, this thing instead of and you weigh options, Baba have right,
where do you stand as ATM?
For now, I still need to go and check.
Are you not as a regional chair? Are you not the chief whip?
Yeah, you are a chief whip, Marangiri. You must just go and talk to your province. You say Marley.
Okay, so you're still going to consult?
Yeah, I'm still going to consult. Yeah, but we to be very honest.
Mara, who's quoting you? The majority parties are quoting you for vote.
To Obana now,
yeah.
The quoting part, because of towards the week.
Yes.
Together. We only have one seat. Yeah, but we are under what we call Super 7, which we have 9 seats. Okay. It's a voting block, like what they've tried. Yeah. Chop and change. Motion wa ATM or remove Tanya Campbell. As a mayor, Babia mayor was Super 7, what come from Super 7. So Africa mayor we are looking and we're not happy guy. The same Super 7 in Mele Mo ran around that. It was not easy to remove. Believe me, ANC did not vote.
Tanya Campbell DA.
Yeah, DA. Onelwa AIC. And remember when we removed that guy, ANC did not vote. DA did not vote. So it was the minority against the EFF. EFF protecting the mayor, minority saying we are enough cut this mayor. And it was difference of 3 or 5 votes. That small difference of 3 to 5 votes to remove Ngodwan. It was the hardest one, And to remove it's very easy. To put someone back in the position, that is why I'm saying the motion can pass. But to put another mayor or another speaker, it is going to be a very tough job, but we are looking forward to it.
Okay, my schedule politically correct. You had, tell me what you think about this. I'm still not convinced that there's black unity in South African politics. I still don't think black people they've got the ability, but the temperament, the zeal, the longevity of sacrificing certain things. I don't think South African politicians have it. They honestly do not care. they do not even show the appetite to do it. I give a lot of examples of if they did, this is what would happen. But for what it was, Matthew and Political Inquiry, please tell me what you feel about it. And I mean, EFF has the speaker, ANC has the mayor. Any changes? Zero. I don't think it will happen. Thank you. Eitada.